Hey boys, how we all doing? This introduction is gonna be shit. Just fair warning. I have not made a YouTube video in a long ass time. Such an introduction. Usually I just grab games from my Twitch, but today we are doing a Bubba guide of add-on tier list. So if you're new to the YouTube channel, welcome in. My name is Dresnak. We're at 7,000 hour fucking Bubba main. Nearly, I think we're third or fourth in the world in terms of just like downs. So hopefully I can impart my knowledge to you all as easily as I can. I'm not making the video too long. I hope this video is like maybe 20 minutes. We'll see though. But yeah, I'm going to go as simple as I can and explain my logic of where I think all these add-ons are. We're going to start from the ultra rares all the way to the browns and go in order from what you see from the left to right. And so let's get cracking lacking, hey? Let's get started. So yeah, first add-on we're going to be doing today, boys, is the carburetor tuning guide. Now, very easy one to choose actually, because this one currently is actually bugged. Usually it's meant to lower your movement speed by 2%, very much like the depth gauge rack. But sad to say, currently it is bugged, and it's pretty much unusable. Like, it's actually kind of a meme add-on right now. It's honestly worse than speed limiter for Bubba. So if you guys are new Bubba, I would recommend never using this add-on. If you're experienced Bubba, you want to have a bit of a fun gimmick build, try it out. I think it's like, I got a YouTube video previously made called Burger King Bubba that has both the depth gauge rack and the tuning guide together. So right now, we're actually going to be calling it, we're going to be putting an E tier, and E tier is going to be a special tier where it's just going to be the bug tier. Not much we can do about it. This add-on is just absolute garbage. You literally highly recommend don't bother using it. Just don't even waste your blood points on buying these. But yeah, that's the first one we will be doing. Next up is actually an actual add-on, which is the Eerie Flesh. Now, Eerie Flesh, this is actually a good start to the actual tier list. Eerie Flesh, I would actually put it B tier. And the reason why I put it B tier, if you don't know what Eerie Flesh does, every time you hit somebody with your chainsaw, you get all your charges back. Now, keep in mind, it also limits your max duration when you tantrum. So when you first tantrum, it goes for 4 seconds, and depending how many charges you use, it adds an extra 2 seconds on top. So if you use all your charges, that's 8 seconds. This limits that to 5, so no matter how fucking many charges you use, it's capped at 5. So that's a really nice benefit of it. If you tantrum, you don't get punished as much. But what's really amazing about this add-on is actually its patrolling potential and its face camping potential. It is pretty much impossible to save against somebody that has speed. Iridescent Flesh. Now, keep in mind though as well, Iridescent Flesh it has certain scenarios where it's absolutely fucking amazing, and then other scenarios where it's just the opposite. Like, I've had games where I've gotten no value out of this. It's a great beginner add-on. Very fun to use, but it has its limits, and so you'll find it very hard to get use out of it unless you have proxy camping hooks. So if you're a fan of camping, if you're a camping Bubba, use it. Go right ahead. If you're not a camping Bubba, you'll get a lot less pressure out of it. But I would still say it's one of his better add-ons. Definitely one of his top 10 add-ons, or top 5, or no, top 7 top add-on. I would say. I'm sorry about that, but yeah. Okay, boys, we're up to debatably Bubba's best add-on. By debatably, I actually mean it's 100% Bubba's best add-on. Any Bubba main will tell you that award-winning chili is by far, or purple chili, as most people like to call it, is Bubba's S tier add-on. There is nothing that comes close to it. It is by far his best add-on. There's a combo that pretty much every Bubba main will use, and if you're experienced Bubba main especially, like you're never taking purple chili off. Keep in mind, if you're new to the stream, or you're new to Bubba in general, or the stream, I'm sorry, if you're new to Bubba or my YouTube channel, pretty much what chili does, both of them, the yellow and the purple, they pretty much just, in simple terms, because like the wording's kind of dumb, it makes you go further. There is a category called Chainsaw Sprint that shows you how much further you go. That will be on the screen at some point on this video. Pretty much, it makes you go from a Chainsaw Sprint of 90 to a Chainsaw Sprint of 112. So, I don't know the exact numbers on how many meters per point, but pretty much just know you're going a decent chunk of your chainsaw, and that's all it does. There's no negatives. There's no like, oh, it takes longer to rev, or you lose a bit of movement speed. All it does is make you go further. That is it. There's no downside to it. So pretty much there's nothing to warrant not taking it off. But yeah, very simple add-on, easily going S tier. I can't imagine any other add-on being anywhere close to this. But then, going a bit on a sad note, this is pretty much the same thing, which is depth gauge rack, but it's a lot more detailed. So pretty much it does increase your distance by adding another token. The only issue is, though, it makes you it makes your charge up when you're your bar of like revving up 18% slower. Now that doesn't sound like a bad thing, but you feel it when you're playing the killer. It's one of my. I know there are some bubbas that like this add-on. I am not one of them. I think it is very average. It has too many downsides. Because keep in mind, it also lowers your movement speed very much like the carburetor does. It's not bugged like carburetor, but still that 2% movement speed debuff, it kind of hurts. There's a lot of negatives for only one extra charge, where Purple Chili does all like extra distance as well, but with no downside. So for me, I will be putting this add-on at C tier. It has some uses, but the downsides on it are just not helpful. It's just there's not much going for it, sadly. Alright, so now we're up to the light chassis. Now this add-on, I have gotten some value out of this. I actually run this on one of my stealth builds. I actually quite like it on my stealth build. But in general, I've probably run this add-on maybe like 100 times, and I do not get enough value out of it. I think in terms of usage, I don't get anywhere near the value out of this add-on as Eerie Flesh. I do think it is slightly better than the Death Gauge rack, but I will be putting this add-on on C tier, sadly to say. I think it is better than Death Gauge rack, but I think my C tier is just going to be the tier list of, like, you get value out of it maybe 1 every 3 games. You might have one game where you have an insane, like, 4 uses out of it, but in general, it doesn't have enough of an impact. The wall hacking is lovely, but depending on if the survivors hold W or if they leave the loops when you start revving, more often than not, you don't get enough value out of it. It's only maps like Larry's where there's a lot of walls that you want to try and cut people off with or like read what they're doing, so there's like a lot less mind gaming to it. But in general, like, I would say it is not as good as it seems. A lot of people see the wall hacking and go, oh, that's amazing. But 8 meters is not a lot of distance. So you very rarely actually get use out of it. So yeah, I would be putting this add-on at the tier list of C. Alright, now we're ending off the purples, boys, with the Rusted Chains. Now, for me, Rusted Chains, I have probably used this add-on maybe 30 to 50 times around there, roughly. So it's probably my least used purple for very good reason. I don't enjoy using this add-on. I think it's by far the worst purple. It sounds really good on paper, being broken for 90 seconds. Like, literally no Myva for 90 seconds. Like, who doesn't want that, right? Only issue about it is you actually want people to heal up against you. As a Bubba main, I always feel like I don't really have to worry about people being healed. The average player, they're not really, like, I don't have to worry about M1ing them. I can usually chainsaw majority of the community. There are some good players where, like, oh yeah, I would love them to stay injured. But in general, a lot of bad players, I want them to heal up, or I think the average player, I want them to heal up, and in the average game, Rusted Chain, all it makes people do is they just gen rush you, and what makes it even worse is the fact that while you're on hook, this 90 seconds is still going down. So while you might have 90 seconds, they could literally spend 30 to 40 of that on hook. So in general, and then, or they might just go do a gen real quick, and then they get healed up. Like, it's more often than not the broken part, unless you are literally going to tunnel somebody out, which keep in mind they have perks for that, like off the record, DS, like, BT. There's so many perks that you can't really tunnel out easily unless you're like, you're up their ass from the get-go. So in general, I will be putting this add-on at D tier. I would say for any beginner Bubba main, just steer clear of it. It's just going to make you get gen rushed. Highly recommend not bothering with it. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Okay, and now we're up to the greens, boys. So the first one we're going to be using, this one, it's so fun to use, but there's one massive issue with this. Now, if you don't know what this add-on is, it is pretty much Franklin's, like Franklin's Demise, but for your chainsaw. Now, the issue about it is, unlike Franklin's, it doesn't make their items decay, or like lose charges while it's on the ground. They can just pick it up and it's still got all of its charges. Now, keep in mind, I love using it. I remember back when keys used to be broken, I would bring this add-on every single time and then fucking camp that shit, right? But in general, it's fun to use, but more often than not, like, people will just go back and pick up their med kit. I still think it is better than D tier. I still think it is C tier, but I think it's on the very bottom of C tier. It's very eh. It has a lot of fun out of it, though. It has a lot of usage. It has more usage than the Broken Chain by far. I just think it's lacking on the... If it had its decay, it would be easily B tier in my personal opinion. I really wish the devs would actually change it to work like Franklin's. because fuck me, do I wish I wish I could be an M1 killer sometimes for that reason. But oh well, is what it is. Right now, it's staying at C tier. Hey, on to the next one. We're now doing actually one of my, in my personal opinion, this is one of my favorite underrated add-ons. I really like using this one. When I did my birthday stream, I I had a thing where if you get to subs, you ban my add-ons. My chat shows all the good ones. And this was the one I was stuck with at the end. It was very underrated though, because a lot of people didn't really know it was strong, and I just kept on using it every single game and having fun with it. So I had I had a blast. But this is my favorite low tier add-on, and by low tier, I'm still putting it C tier. Keep in mind, most of these add-ons will be going C tier. But I feel like for me, it's probably the one add-on I would say a lot of Bubba mains might not like, but I like it. And if you don't know what it does, it's pretty much just Mangled, which is like slow healing when you chainsaw them. Now, it sounds a bit like the broken one, but the only issue is, again, it has the same downside where like you don't want people to just gen rush you. But more often than not, unlike the broken, bad players will heal up still. They will see that Mangled and they'll be like, ah, fuck it, I'm gonna still heal, and it just feels nice. You won't really see a lot of value out of it in general because of the fact you don't see them healing up. But if you watch a streamer after versing them, you might see how much value it gives. I will personally put it at C tier. I definitely think it's above Brigadier Chains. Honestly, probably above Death Gauge Rack as well. But it's not above the light though. I think it's definitely a very underrated add-on. A lot of fun to use, and who doesn't like making people hate their lives by healing slower, right? But yeah, no, I'll be putting this I'll be putting the Grizzly Chains at C tier. Alright, next on the tier list is the Shop Lubricant. Now, if you don't know what this add-on is, it is a very simple one. It is just Knockout. But you can't have anybody in your terror radius when using it, when dadding somebody with a chainsaw. So, and also you can't have one, it has to be a chainsaw. So, kind of trash. This one will be an easy D tier, because it also only lasts for 20 seconds. So, while you're not being able to see your teammate for 20 seconds, you can just mend, because that's not annoying that this add-on literally gets counterplayed by a simple mending or like recover mechanic. I've probably used this game or this add-on like 20 times, and I got used to have it once when I was watching a streamer, so it got used, like actually used and helped. And they were Devotion 1, that's why it worked. So in general, if you're versing any decent player, they're just gonna recover and they get picked up after 20 seconds. And even then, you have no idea when it's working or not, because there has to be nobody in your terror radius. And it doesn't give you an indicator. It doesn't, like, turn on or turn off, or, like, light up or light off when it works or when it doesn't. So you have no idea. So you're kind of just fucked. Easy D tier for me. I think this one has no debate. Hey, boys, we're up to the best green add-on in my personal opinion. This one is going to be the last add-on I will be putting at S tier. This is no debate in my personal opinion. Any good Bubba main will tell you these are by far Bubba's best add-ons. That's why they both belong in S tier. If you're new to Bubba and you don't understand what this add-on does, very simple. It just increases your movement speed by 3% while swinging your chainsaw. Now keep this in mind. It is 3% of a 115 killer. So for example, if I was 110, it wouldn't be it would be less. That's how movement speed in this game works. When it says 5%, it's not exactly saying only 5%. It's saying 5% of whatever your killer movement speed is. So, for example, if I'm playing Huntress, it's 5% of 110. If I'm playing Bubba, it's 5% of 115. Okay? So just remember that. When it says 3% movement speed, it's 3% of 115 killer. Okay? The only downside to it, very much like the Death Gauge Rack, it increases your charge time by 12%. So it's actually less than the Death Gauge Rack, but when you're stacking it with the other engraving, it makes it quite long. Just keep that in mind. When you're running the engravings or the beast marks, that charge time does throw you off a little bit if you're too used to not running it. But again, really great fucking add-on. Easily deserves S tier. And when you become a confident Bubba main and you start learning how to play with it and like learn mind games and learn flicking or even moon soaring, by far one of his best add-ons. A lot of beginner Bubbas will struggle to get value out of it, but once you improve and get your level up, you will see, very much like every Bubba main agrees, it is by far one of his best add-ons. So yeah. Okay, next up, we have another bad green one. This is the Grease. Now, the Grease, I think if you're a baby Bubba, you can get a bit of value out of it. So what it does is, whenever you rev your chainsaw up, you have an overheat mechanic. What this does is it lets you increase that by a full 3 seconds. That is it. So maybe you could get some value out of it with light chassis. But in general, it's quite a... You pretty much will only ever use it if you're a baby. And even then, I don't think I've ever overheated as a Bubba on purpose, like on accident. Sorry, every time I've done it, it's on purpose. When I'm mucking around, in general, I think I've overheated like 5 times, and they were all on purpose. So it is very, very, very bad. You'll pretty much never need it. So I'll be putting this one at D tier. This is a really bad add-on. No need to explain it. Just don't use it. Alright, now we're up to the yellows, boys. We're up to actually a really good one to start off with. This one is the normal chili. It's just called chili, but we pretty much just call it yellow chili. It pretty much does what purple chili does, but worse. It is just a worse version of purple chili. A lot of people love to put these add-ons together. I'll be putting it at A tier, but like a lot of people love to put both chilies together. It is overkill. Don't use it. It's one of the most overhyped Bubba combos. Any good Bubba man will tell you you don't need double chilies. If you need double chilies to get it down, that means you're using your chainsaw wrong. If you're wondering what the chainsaw sprint of it is, it goes from 90 to 100. So it's not as big of a jump between purple to yellow, from yellow to purple, but it's still quite a big. It meets in between of like of 9 to 112, right? So it's not bad little add-on. It's probably my most used add-on because I don't really like using the best add-ons every single game. So in general, I will say it's from personal experience, really good add-on. Again, no downsides to it. You'd be silly not to like give it a shot. If you run out of purple chilies, it's an easy, good replacement. Obviously not as good, but still really solid. Alright, now we're up to good old shop lubricant. Now, what this add-on does, it's a very good beginner add-on. And by also not shop lubricant, sorry, homemade muffler, derp. But yeah, what this add-on does is it decreases your tantrum by 1 second. Now, remember what I said, if you use only one charge, that's 4 seconds, and 2 charges is 6 seconds, and all 3 charges is 8 seconds. Keep that in mind, right? This decreases all those by 1 second. So if you use all your charges, it goes from 8 seconds to 7 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a feels good perk, right? If you ever use Deathslinger and you ever use like the cigar, it does the same thing, same feeling. Just not as really good because 1 less second for Bubba is not going to make or break him. In general, it's just a very good beginner one. If you tantrum a lot as a beginner, give it a shot. I will be putting it D tier because again, you're pretty much running it because you think you're bad. There should be no real reason you're running it. It shouldn't have any value in most of your games. I think a good, even I tantrum a couple of times a game, maybe if I'm having a really bad day. But even then, like those tantrums don't really affect the game too much. You might lose 1 or 2 chases because of that. But if you're running an add-on just to get a 1 second quicker recovery, it's not gonna that's not gonna help you in a game. And keep in mind, even if you do somehow run it and you're in chase and you tantrum, that extra 1 less second will not let you catch back up. You might as well just go switch and go defend your gen. So there's no point committing back to that chase because you're still going to be stunned for 3, 5, or 7 seconds. So I'll be putting this one at D tier. Hey, up to an actual good one now. We are doing the yellow version of Beast Marks. Pretty much does what Beast Marks does, just 1% worse. Keep in mind, it does decrease the chainsaw by the exact same amount Beast Marks does. So if you're bad with your muscle memory and it really throws you off, you shouldn't have to worry about switching the add-ons too much. They feel the exact same. They do stack when running together, so keep that in mind. But I'll be putting this one at A tier. I think Ops did it at B tier, and I know a lot of other people that at least know what they're talking about put it at B tier. But most Bubba mains will agree, like really high hour Bubba mains will agree, when you run double fucking the plates, it's so much fun. Flicking with these add-ons are so addictive. By far one of his funnest combos to ever use. And it still works with the chilies. You can still run it with chilies and have a great time. Does the exact same thing Beast Marks does, just slightly worse. So it 100% deserves A tier at the very least. And now we're up to the Primer Bulb. Now, this one is my most addictive add-on. This is probably the add-on I have actually used either the second or third most. I use this a lot with Yellow Chili. Now, what this add-on does is it decreases your token charge time. So, when you're waiting for a stack, that just decreases that stack. I think it's a full 2 seconds of recovery to wait for a charge. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me. That just reduces by 1 second when using Primer Bulb. It's a really feels good perk. If you get a map that has a fuck ton of pallets, like, Gideon or something, by far one of the best feel-goods add-ons you can run as Bubba. So for that reason, I would be putting it B tier, because unlike the other C tier add-ons, you get use out of it every single game. Now, is it a God tier add-on that will make you get a kill? Not often, but it does have value every single game, so it definitely deserves the B slot. Now we're up to the Long Guide Bar. Long Guide Bar is, it's pretty much a worse version of Shop Lubricant. Not Shop Lubricant, sorry, the grease, sorry. It just does 1 less second. Instead of 3 seconds, it increases your rev time by 2 seconds. So for that very reason, because I don't think it needs to be explained, I'm putting it D tier. Simple as that. Let's make the video quick. So we're now up to a brown add-on. the good old brownies. There's only, I always forget there's 4 browns. I always feel like there's 5, because I always assume there's the same amount of yellows to browns and greens, but my bad. There's 4 actually. First one we're starting off with is Chainsaw File. It is pretty much the grease. Not grease, sorry. No, not grease, sorry. Homemade muffler, sorry. Just worse. So for that reason, again, D tier. I think that one's no debate. Okay. I don't use it ever. I think I've used it 2 times. Like, it's just not a good add-on. Hey, now we're up to the gimmicky, fun memester add-on named Speed Limiter. Now, I think this one has no need for an introduction, but in case you don't know what it is, this one pretty much is Bubba's worst add-on because of the fact it takes away your insta-saw, like your insta-down. You will only hit them with a normal injure state. Now, you can double tap with it, but keep in mind, like, most people, when they're running it, are just trying to meme with you. They're not actually playing properly. Its only advantage is every time you hit something with a chainsaw, it doubles the blood points received. So normally when you hit something with a chainsaw, you get 850 blood points. It makes you get 1700. This is easily D tier. I'm not even going to, like, debate it. It's the worst add-on Bubba's got, by far. Alright, and now we're ending with the last 2 browns. These ones are actually my favorite browns, by far. The other 2 are trash. These 2 actually are really good. I'll be putting both of these at C tier. Let me explain with Sparkplug why I'm putting it at C tier first. So Sparkplug is pretty much just primerable, but again, half of instead of 1 second, it's 0.5 seconds. I actually, you know what? Bad take. It might be a bad take. I actually will be putting it at B tier, actually. I think because of the fact you get value out of it every single game, if you combo them, it's really good. Again, if you send yourself to Gideon or some shit, you'll have a lot of fun. But in general, I will be putting it at B tier because you get value out of it every single game, very much like Primal Bulb. So I think it's a well-earned spot. I could be wrong. This could be it's either high B tier or low C. Oh, sorry, low B tier or high C tier. I think it definitely deserves a spot in the B tier just because of the fact that it's miles above all the C tiers in my personal opinion. But that could be a bit of a bad take. I personally put it at B tier. Now here's this one's my boy. This add-on that I'm about to talk about is the Veggie Oil. I love this add-on. This is a great one to end off with. This add-on is probably my second or third. Again, like, it's either yellow chili with Primal Bulb or it was yellow chili with Veggie Oil. I love this add-on because while the wording sounds dumb, it has a really good use. So now if you don't know what this add-on does, every time you use your chainsaw, the recovery speed of when you, when you either hit a chainsaw or you miss a chainsaw, that recovery of, like, the animation is 0.3 seconds quicker. Now, this add-on used to be, like, it only was meant to work when you hit somebody, but then they broke it and it worked when you didn't hit somebody, and they tried fixing it multiple times, and they kept on breaking it. So eventually they're like, you know what, fuck it, it's just going to work on both scenarios, and to me, that is amazing. Because what this add-on does, and a lot of people don't know about it, and I've always been an avid fan of this, is pretty much if you only use one charge, the recovery time pretty much guarantees a locker grab. Because they either A, have to jump out prematurely into your chainsaw, or B, they get grabbed. Those are their 2 options. Get grabbed, or risk running into your chainsaw, because you might bump into the locker, right? I used to run a lot of Iron Maiden, and I've replaced it with this because it pretty much gave me a grab 99 times out of 100. Because there's always that one player, because my region, I'm from Oceania, Australia, a lot of people knew I was running it, so they would know they're versing me, and they would jump out early because they know what I'm trying to go for. I don't use it as much as I used to, but fuck, this add-on is so fun to use. It's so underrated. A lot of people just put it at D tier because they just look at the small number and they go, oh, that's trash. To me, the fact of the matter is that you get a guaranteed grab at lockers, which is a massive annoying thing for bad bubbas. Or not bad bubbas, bubbas in general, sorry. I don't know why I said bad bubbas. But yeah, just for the fact that it gets a guaranteed grab, this is what I'm a bit iffy with. I want to put it next to Sparkplug. But I think because of the fact that, like, you might not get a grab on enough, it might just have to go to C tier, because I feel like it definitely is C tier. But I think it's high C tier. Keep in mind, if you're good enough at Bubba, you can also push people towards lockers so that they feel likely to jump. That's what I did all the time when I used to use it a lot. I would know how to path to make people walk towards the lockers. And obviously, when people are versing a Bubba, they see a locker, they're always going to jump in. It's quite an easy mind game. So if you get good at like knowing how to path and push people towards lockers, you'll get a lot of value out of it. Again, I personally, I want to put it at B tier. I just don't think for the average Bubba, it is a B tier add-on. I might come back and put it at B tier another day, but for now, I'm probably going to leave it at C tier and call that the video. I think this is what I truly believe what every add-on should be at. Maybe when the carburetor's not bugged, I might put that somewhere. I think if it was to not be bugged, I'd put it at B tier maybe. Again, no, I haven't used it at all since it's been bugged for like I think it's been bugged for nearly 2 years. It's been a long ass time. Hopefully the devs fix it, but I wish I could say I know where it is. I think I used it once when it was normal, so I can't really tell you guys where it's meant to be. But yeah, that's the video. I hope you all have a great time. Make sure you come to the Twitch channel. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I'll put the Twitch bio in the bottom. But yeah, I think this is the tier list from, you know, number 1 Bubba OCE, number 3 Bubba, or number 4 Bubba in the world. Going to go for that number 1 spot again. I took a year break, so I kind of lost that spot, but we'll go back for it. We'll come back for it. But yeah, no, boys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys for another VOD. I don't know, I might do some more guides, might do some gameplay here or there. But I need to get back into the YouTube, so we'll start off with an easy add-ons tier list. Okay, guys, have a good one. Take care. I'll see you all another day.